Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Brother 25. I am your host, along with Michelle, your co host. We have something truly special in store for you today. Tonight's episode is all about game breaking twists. Just when the house guests thought they had it all figured out. Mm.
Is this Big Brother or Real Housewives?
Wait, huh?
I was like, is he joking? Is he about to say something?
That's how you know my life ain't right. Yo, this is Real Housewives.
I was just like, wait a minute, did I? Yes. Real Housewives. Season 15. Sip and spill the tea. Oh my
I'm
God.
drunk.
Okay,
I gotta blame it on something.
We starting off great. Don't even have a show together. Oh my God.
Okay.
Ooh. But yes. Well, we'll see what Jermaine brings us tonight because apparently we're talking about a totally different show right now. But I'll give him some grace. You know, he's had a long day. But anyway, this is definitely, about to talk that stuff with Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is the season pre-finale. Like finale is next week. So yeah. But this one, we don't have no intro or nothing, right? We good? Go right in.
Let's just go.
All right.
We wasted too much time.
So they kind of start the show, of course, with the little intros that they always do. And Cynthia mentioned she's wrapping up her divorce and that she's been married and divorced all within the span of time that King has been trying to get divorced. And it's just like, it has been a long time. But I mean, I guess if you think about it, they have probably, well, for sure, custody to work out. Mm-hmm. And then I don't think they had any assets together because it seems like she kept her house. He kept his stuff. I'm sure she's not trying to get any of his restaurants, and hopefully he's not trying to get any of her business. But some people say guys, like, depending on, like, they may just be trying to make it hard for her. And that's when it seems like the kind of person that...
hardcore narcissist. He just wants Kenya to want him. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though he treated her a hot mess the whole time. But they created this beautiful daughter. So hopefully her divorce will be happening soon. So anyway, they get to the past shoot day one. So throughout this episode, they're going through the different days of the past shoot. And on day one, everybody, including Todd and Candy, are saying that Drew is killing it. She's getting it in the first few takes. And so that's good. And so then we move to Sonya's prenatal appointment where they're bringing their son, Deuce, to the appointment because he's been asking about a big brother, big sister consistently. So she wants to make sure he's in the loop because he is a loop. Say it again.
Little brother, sister.
Oh, yes. What did I say? Big brother?
Big brother. See, you thinking about it too.
And so Dr. Jackie makes an appearance. Seems like she's everybody's doctor.
Everybody.
But, she confirmed the pregnancy and she's at 5 weeks and it's a geriatric pregnancy. Did you know that over 35 is considered a geriatric?
I did know that. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it.
Yeah. So, she explains the risk to her and all that kind of stuff. And so they will hopefully be able to find out the sex of the baby within 10 weeks. So that they continue on the next scene. Oh, go ahead.
I do have a question. So I don't remember who it was who mentioned it, but I remember thinking some time ago, I was just like, I would kind of want to go to Simone. Is that her name? Simone, the one with the big teeth? Yeah. I would want to go to her because she makes me laugh. And, like if she were my doctor, like I would really want to laugh. I think I've had, bad experiences with doctors. And so, Dr. Jackie, she's real sedate. She's real calm. I mean, she's cool. She's not, she doesn't rub me the wrong way. But, I want to laugh. I want to smile. I want to,
Yeah. I don't know who I'd, for some reason, and this is just me, I feel like they're both great, I'm sure. But I don't know why I feel like Dr. Jackie has more experience. I don't know why. Maybe because I see her more, and I see Dr. Simone acting a fool. Like I see both sides of her. So I'm
That's
just
why. That's
yeah,
why.
that's probably why. But it seems like one of my sisters went to Dr. Jackie in Atlanta. So I mean Dr. Simone. So they're both great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they're on day 4 of the past shoot, and Candy mentions that Todd is a Leo and he really likes to have things his way. And
you know, I never would have thought that.
Me
Because
either.
I've known quite a few Leos, and they don't act like that. Because he seems to be real calm, real cool, real collected.
Oh, you got that from Todd? I never saw him as calm, cool, collected. Because he
think about Mama Joyce. Think about Mama Joyce.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I feel like he just kind of letting that to the side, but he also was not happy about it. And I feel like he asserts himself in a lot of the situations, but and maybe like in business and marriage, like it may be different. So maybe she means in business. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know. This is what I know. This is what I know about the two of them. They're a perfect match. They're a perfect match.
I agree.
I think both of them are driven, right? And I don't think they realize like that part of them that's not like a perfect yin yang type situation. And so that part would ultimately cause stress for both of them. But outside of that, I think, you know, their freak levels are probably what and what.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not saying that that's all that a relationship is.
But I mean, that's part of it. And even with the drivenness, like it seems like he let Candy go, and now it's kind of his turn to do at least one of the things. But she's let him go too, because he has those 2 or 3 restaurants. So he's been doing some stuff too. So he said that they're doing like Tyler Perry and using what they have, which is their home, to film part of the movie. Now I get it.
Not Tyler and Perry, huh?
What?
Like Barack and Obama.
Oh, right. Okay, that'll be who's next for him, for Ralph. But I thought it was interesting. So I do get the economic, like the financial benefits of using your home. Now they have a big home, and
why use that bed?
Why use your bed? Like, I'm sure the bed is wonderful and it's a master bed, but I'm sure the other beds are nice too. You know what I'm saying? In that house, I'm sure it's another nice bed that they could do in. I don't know. For some reason, that part was like, okay, Todd. And did you hear him? He made a little comment like, you want me to go into the scene or something? You heard him say that?
I did not hear, but I mean, you know, it's Todd, so I'm not paying attention to a whole lot that Todd says.
Oh my gosh. So Mayetta comes, and her, Candy, and Drew kind of talk about just the movie and stuff. And so Drew was like kind of pumping up, like, I got a trailer and it's got a bedroom and all this kind of stuff. And so she was acting really innocent, like, oh, these sex scenes are coming up, so I'm gonna really need some guidance. And Candy mentioned that
from you guys. That's what she said. From you guys.
She's like, I know y'all know. Tell me about that peach again. Then she had a peach buzz. You said my jaw vibrated. And so Candy mentioned, which is, I never thought about it, but it makes sense that they have intimacy coaches on set to help them. And I figured it's like a routine, because Drew did say it's almost like choreographed, and there's different ways you can do your face and all that kind of stuff. So I mean,
I am so glad she said something that I heard once, but I never heard anybody ever mention before. I forget the exact word that Candy used, but basically they put something on top of or between your genitals. So your genitals are not rubbing against each other. Even though you're naked, they put something on top of you so that, you know, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
You know,
oh, okay.
It won't slip in.
Right. Like, oops, take 2.
Oh, no, keep going. Baby, we're working. Okay,
right. I said cut. Oh my God. So, you know, Drew was kept going like, this is her first sex scene with a woman. And well, actually first sex scene ever. Like she's done intimate things, but not like sex scenes. And Candy was like, I don't think it'll be too much for you to get comfortable with that. And she also mentioned that she didn't really give Ralph the details, just a summarization or overview of whatever he needed to know. So,
but he caught on quick.
Okay, real quick. So anyway, Sheree is planning her sip and see for Mecca, her glam daughter or granddaughter. She's Glamma. And so this can be fabulous, over the top sip and see with different shades of nude. That's what people are wearing. And I mean, she wants Mecca hanging from everywhere, balloons galore. And they said, well, what's the budget? She was like, there is a budget, but there is no budget. Okay, Sheree. Is she paying for this herself off of the? I was wondering, like, is Bob helping or what? Because I don't know. Like, to me, and we can talk about it, but no, I can ask you now. How much do you think this party cost?
Well, financials in Atlanta are a little bit different from Houston, but if I had to take a guess, I would say
they're more or less.
I would assume that Atlanta is a bit more expensive than
I would think so
than Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I would say somewhere between 15 and 20,000.
Okay, I was actually thinking more like toward the $50,000 range, only because I feel like the balloons themselves was like $10,000 because we priced I know you've been to like plenty of things where they have the balloons over like a little place where you can take pictures. Like those run at least like $200. Like if you don't, people can make them themselves too. And they had them everywhere, all over the place or whatever. So I'm like, oh. So anyway, and then of course the food. And if you count like her outfits,
I was just about to say, I wasn't thinking about outfits. I wasn't thinking about her glam squad. I wasn't thinking about all of that. You're right.
Photo shoot, all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It could have been maybe 30,000. Now that I think about it, but a lot. And when I thought about it, I was just like, okay, she was like really struggling to give $5,000 to Sonya. Okay, I'm like, if you could throw away $20,000 for you a party, for Mecca a party. Right.
Can y'all see that? Is it showing the right way?
It is.
It's not the way that Sonya.
Pregnant weird. A mess, but yeah. So we'll talk more about this party. So they're on day 5 of the shoot, and Drew is actually doing this sex scene, and they were just like, Drew is acting her butt off or whatever, because she's letting us have it. Now, I do believe that Drew is a great actress, because even in some of those diver room scenes, she's giving us a little drama for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So, and I think that's what she talked about, the choreography and stuff. Marlo had her foster care event. Now, did you watch? You sent me the Candy speak on it. Did you watch it? Okay,
I watched that, and I also saw Kenya's.
Did you see Kenya? Yes,
both of them.
I didn't see the whole thing. I saw clips, but I
saw the whole thing.
Ooh, you want to maybe give us a little tea?
Okay, I'm gonna try to remember. I don't remember shit.
Dealing with Marlo, she had her event. Well, we'll talk about the event, then I'll say what I was going to say. For the foster care kids. So she was giving honorary. Is this the second time she did this? Oh no, she did it on Instagram before, I think. Gave the foster care honorary things. Because I was like, for some reason not. But anyway, this is an actual event. And it was nice. I'm glad she did something. Scott Lee came to support, and Sheree eventually came. I was wondering if Sheree was gonna make it.
You were wondering if Sheree was coming?
Yeah, because she had her own. She was doing her tasting and planning for her own party. Mecca's party, and I don't know. Marlo seemed really emotional when it was a kind of up in the air if Sheree was coming or not. So I think she really does have some childhood issues she got to work through. But Anyway, what I was going to say about her is, um, I've seen this little producer, the producer that they all be talking about, and Kenya. The part of the interview that I saw was about her saying that basically the producers are basically they like some people, they don't like some people, so they show what they want to show, and so Marlo gets a nice edit, like with this foster care event. Meanwhile, her salon open, like they showed her with the empty building, but they never did get, and maybe they'll show her next episode, but she was like, everybody was at her salon opening, right, except for Marlo, I think. But right, it has not made the show. Like, and so it's just like they pick and choose. And so the girl that I follow, she was also talking about it. Hold on. She was also talking about it, and she was just saying how the guy, I forgot his name, but it's like Marlo's kind of all over his page, and they kind of go back and forth like, oh, the different events. So clearly he likes her. And she said he prefers people that Marlo likes too. So like Sonya's getting a good edit, and Sheree, like they're getting more airtime and everything, which also is making the show kind of not boring, but I don't know. It seems like the show usually like has some type of peak and then valley and stuff like that. And it's like it started off really strong. I think Candy might have mentioned this too. Like it started off really strong, and then it's just been kind of like,
teetering here and there. Yeah. Playing favorites, basically. Like, and can you mention that? It seems like some people have an agenda and they're playing favorites, and because they're playing favorites, the show is suffering as a result of it. And she listed like a number of different things, and we've already mentioned a couple today. For instance, Scott Lee. She specifically said that after a certain amount of time, production got together. They huddled because they couldn't figure out the trajectory of the season. So they huddled together and they made certain that Marlo had a beau by the name of Scott Lee to soften her up.
Okay, and I can kind of believe that too, because they don't seem compatible at all. Number one, he doesn't seem like her type. And I mean, her type meaning like, it's not at one point we've seen him lavish her with any gifts or give her any money. I mean, he gave her some flowers, and I think, that dinner was nice, but I mean, it was his restaurant. So she won't let him come around the kids. So it's just like.
And that face she made. You remember that face she made?
Yes. I think was that you that had the steal, or I saw it somewhere?
Yeah. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right. And I don't follow Marlo, but I was wondering if he was on her Instagram at all. Like, if it's really somebody you're dating.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, but my gut is telling me no.
Yeah. So it is interesting because the girl I was listening to her talk about it too. She mentioned that it's the same guy produces Potomac too, and he said you could tell they have favorites as well on Potomac, and Giselle is like one of his favorites, so that's why she's always getting a decent edit or whatever. And so so I don't know. Is it Eric Williams? I don't know why that name is.
So is that why? Okay, so they specifically mentioned that that they cannot do Atlanta the same way they do Potomac. And I never I don't pay attention to the credits. I don't pay attention to who's running. I don't pay attention to that. But it makes sense based upon what both she and Carlos said. The fact that they're running Atlanta the way that they run Potomac. Yeah. And so hearing you say that that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And continuing with that, well, this girl said this as well, but she was saying that the fact that Kenya was so vocal, she's wondering if this is her last season or if she's like on her way out. Because typically people don't try to talk that much about it because they see Nene get kicked out. And Candy even mentioned in her speak on it that when she was vocal and when she said different things, like she would get in trouble or, I got in trouble for this or whatever. So we'll see.
You know what? I think at this particular point, unless Kenya also said a reboot doesn't work for every franchise. It
Right.
might work for New York, but it probably won't work for Atlanta. All right,
100%.
because you got to come with something a little bit different in Atlanta, and
Mhm.
unless you can give it, how many people can give it the way that Kenya can? How many people can give it the way that Nene can? It's not to say that there aren't some women in Atlanta, some ladies in Atlanta who can't do that,
Mhm.
but so far, how many have we found?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think because Atlanta, to me, like Potomac can be the way it is because it started out that way, so it just can continue. Where Atlanta already had like a base, we're expecting a certain thing from them. And so if
Mhm.
they bring in a new cast, I mean, we're going to expect the same
What
level.
we
And
had,
so, yeah, so I don't know.
if not more.
Yeah.
hmm
So
hmm
we'll
hmm
see.
Which is why she mentioned Courtney. She when okay, so when I say she, I'm talking about Kenya.
Kenya.
So what Kenya said was, um, Courtney's whole presence was questionable from the beginning to the end. She specifically called out Courtney. She said
Mhm.
Courtney started off by going after someone who's been on the show for more than 10 years. Why would you
Right.
do that? That makes absolutely no sense, right?
Mhm.
Now, from Courtney's perspective, I get it. If I hit the top person, if I hit the top person, then more attention is going to come to me. And she got that attention, but she also got smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Lots of it.
And it put her in a place real quick. Like if you notice, like she don't really say much.
Yeah, yeah. Like she'll say a little something here and there. And then at the party, the Shamia was like, not sweet Courtney. Like they said she been acting a fool, and she was like, not sweet Courtney. And to me, that was interesting because her character must be sweet. And so she must have been doing, I mean, of course they all do a little extra, but she was doing the most to try to, you know,
Mhm,
make her, get herself on the show. So we'll
mhm.
see.
I'm sorry. Let's get through the episode so that I can really talk about what Can You Say, because I really want to talk
Oh
about Can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So Sheree's event, of course, as we knew, it's definitely over the top. And Sonya ended up making, I don't know if Sonya was part of the setup team, but she was there early. And so she was like, girl, you always overdo it because this is a lot. And it
Mhm.
was a lot. And so the producer
But it looked
actually,
nice. It
it looked
looked
really nice.
nice.
And apparently that guy is a well-known, like he's the thing in Atlanta with events and over the top things. So with the little pompadour, whatever he had, yeah.
Did you
But
say
anyway,
Papadoo? I had
I
her
don't know.
Papadoo it. I don't know how many years.
But they did amazing. It was a great job. She didn't have to be like, who gonna check me, boo? And so anyway, the producers asked her, "Is this part of a Mecca or is it your grandma coming out party?" And and she was like, "It's." Was that Maya? It's all about you, whatever. Anyway, and so did she say somebody was like $200 per person or something, or
Oh,
I
really?
don't know,
I
maybe the
didn't hear
food or
that. I didn't
something.
hear that. I didn't hear it.
But anyway, so they keep going back and forth. So now they're back on day 6 of the shoot. Now, this is the part that made me not happy about Drew because she's in her trailer, which she was bragging about, and I forgot who comes in. I don't know if it was her assistant producer, somebody come in, and
Uh-huh.
she was just like, "Ooh, man, I mean, we be doing 2 scenes a day. I ain't ever did 2 scenes a day." Now I don't
10.
know.
She said 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
Mhm.
I thought she said 2. Now that makes more sense because I was like, they only do 1 scene a day. No wonder.
No wonder movies
But
take so long.
the fact that he's following Tyler Perry's model, I think that because Tyler Perry, the way
Yeah.
they make it seem like he shoots whole seasons of stuff
Yeah.
in like a
Yeah.
week or two. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, and she was like, and it's odd that it's in Candy's house, which it is. But when she said, you know what, if it's not Lifetime or above, I'm not doing it. But she'll still take the check. Ma'am, like I said, I haven't seen her in anything. Apparently, Candy has seen her in a Lifetime movie, but she ain't booked and busy or nothing like that. She had time. She was free. Oh my god.
The last thing I saw in she weighed 120 pounds. That was the last
Ooh,
thing I
oh,
saw.
and it was 24. Okay, girl. So anyway, Ralph comes in And they're talking about the movie, and she's talking about she's connected with the character because it's really close to who she is, a wife, a mother. And he's talking about a lesbian.
For some reason, all of this just feels like deja vu. Like I really feel like we had this conversation, but if not, clearly we didn't. But did you check out what Ralph said when he walked in and old boy was sitting across from Drew? What did he tell old boy?
I didn't hear that. What did he say? Oh, I don't remember it.
Something to the effect of, "Can you slide out of that?"
Did I miss that? Ooh. I think I missed it.
And okay, so I was just like, I don't like you, Ralph. I do not like you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I missed that. Whatever he said, I probably was already side-eyeing him or something. Yes. And so anyway, he, was like, people got questions. Did you kiss her? Did you give her some tongue? And she just started trying to let him know it's acting. I'm professional. It doesn't mean anything. But he had this Kool-Aid grin across his face the whole time. And he want to watch. Like, he want to see,
You know what? And that's not what I saw.
What you saw?
That's not what I saw. What I saw was, I'm trying to catch you. I'm trying to trap you. I right now, I really don't like you. I'm here because, this is your job. And I signed up for this. I did. I signed up for this. And, I'm getting something out of it. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I want to play you. Right. I want to play you. So I'm going to ask some hard questions that's going to make you squirm. I know it's going to make you squirm because you know what? You do the same thing to me. So if you can do it to me, I can do it to you. That's what I got out of that moment.
You know what? You own something. Like, well, to me, I didn't get that. I got him like being perverted. It was like, ooh, I want to see my wife with another woman without completely asking for it. But that makes a lot of sense because you could tell she was not fully comfortable and she didn't like answering those questions and stuff like that. So he probably was like, okay, I got you. I'll be on set ready. And so, yeah, so that might have been, but she said this is the first thing he ever asked about. So that's what made me also think like, but based on what is coming up, and I honestly thought that's what the season was going to be about. That was going to be Drew's storyline with her and Ty, but they're going to bring it up on the finale. So it'll be interesting.
Which Candy mentioned. She was like, it would have made more sense to focus on that storyline than some of the other things that we had gotten. But Kenya went a little further. So let's continue.
Okay. So Sheree's Sympathy. Everybody's arriving or whatever. And, Candy talks about how well Drew is doing and how her acting is on point. She reiterates again that she don't really care about them doing the stuff in the bed. But anyway, Bob comes in, he speaks to the ladies or whatever. Courtney arrives. I guess I never noticed that she didn't wear a hat, but apparently she didn't have one on and her edges are fine. And so Sheree's upstairs getting glammed up, for this event because what is it? All about her. And so, so Kenya arrives, and this was hilarious to me because she gets out the car and she was like, the lady was like, "Can I get your name?" She was like, "Kenya Moore." And you should know my name. I mean, not even at number one, if you're in Atlanta, Kenya Moore for sure.
Right.
And you at Sheree House, so
exactly.
Girl, the cast.
Exactly. Which is why, if you notice, old girl, like she had a clipboard in her hand, but she wasn't looking at a clipboard. She was
like, "Oh, my scene." I'm definitely gonna be on camera on the show. But,
going all the way back to season 5.
So Sheree and Bob get to the party or whatever. And what I noticed is they were updating Sheree on the baby. Like, she's getting ready. She's all dressed. I'm like, girl, if this party's for her, why you not in there with her? Making sure she looked anyway. The supposedly honorary Poe Mecca. So anyway, her and Bob, take pictures, and she talks about how she felt like a single mother during their marriage, but he seems to be a very involved pawpaw. And so, when they were taking the pictures, I thought they were kind of flirty. Like, you could tell they were in a relationship before. Yeah, well, that definitely, you can tell they're on good terms, but it was a little more than friends. You know how, like, I don't know, I felt like it was a little flirty. Like, I know it wasn't going to go anywhere, but it was a little flirty or whatever. And, you know, and she probably was really feeling herself like, you see what you left? Anyway, he talking about having flashbacks. Anyway, Martell arrives. Now, would you put Martell in the family photo? Not Martell. Let me just take Martell off the table. Somebody that you're dating who you're not in a relationship with, according to them. They're just, I forgot how she described him in one of the other episodes, but
no, she just wanted to upset Bob.
That's what I think. Because I'm just like, number one, he in the family colors, and these pictures are forever. So you know you got a bad track record of men. I mean, Bob right here. What's the other one from last season? And Martell, which we already know from the other show that he ain't no good. So, but anyway, he in your baby's photos now. So, Drew arrives. Oh,
well, according to Kenya, so much.
You can go ahead.
According to Kenya, because he's doing his other show, they only released him for a certain number of episodes. So that's why we only saw him the number of times that we saw him.
Okay. And I know she did. Now, I do feel like they are in a relation. It's not fake for the camera. So I do believe that. I don't feel like they're just making something up so she can have a man for the season, because it's something about when they talk on the phone. To me, like, you can't make that up, kind of like just little stuff that you say when you're on the phone. It's some little things. So I feel like they are definitely real as far as they know each other. They probably are having sex, that kind of thing. Yeah, but anyway. So Drew comes and she calls Candy and she's just like, look, I'm
wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Martell walks up in that pink suit.
Yeah. Now, who is that? Somebody listen to me now. He can hang a suit now. He can hang a suit. And he can. I'll give him that. He did. And his skin tone looked real good with that pink.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob had on pink too, but it just
it looked the same.
It wasn't giving the same. Oh my gosh.
It was giving the bottom of the teacup. Trash.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, but yeah, and they did a little slow mo of him walking in. They knew he was looking good too.
I will say, I'm glad he did something with his hair. His hair was looking like.
Oh, you talking about Bob?
Bob.
Oh
yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I was like, what? I've never seen Martell hair bad, but okay, yeah, Bob for sure. So anyway, Drew arrives to the party, calls Candy, was like, look, I'm here, but I'm not
for the party.
Okay. She's not coming in because it's a man inside that assaulted her. And so they, of course, they played that on the previews. And I'm just like, oh my God, somebody raped her. Somebody, what happened? Mm-hmm. But anyway, she goes on to say that basically it was the assistant that they talked about last season. They were at a party. And then Candy talked a little bit more about this. They're apparently at Nene's lounge or whatever. And she was in a VIP. And that's where it happened. Now, according to Drew, she was, had taken her shoes off, having a good time, and he just came and threw a shoe at her. Now, we know that there's probably a little more, like you don't just come over and just throw no shoe at nobody. He, on the other hand, was over the top. He claims that, I guess they were in an altercation verbally, and then she threw her cheap bag, and he, in turn, threw the shoe at her. And I'm sure the truth is somewhere in the middle. But
she threw her cheap bag at him.
But apparently, like, the police were called. I could see Drew calling the police. I was assaulted, So police were there. It was over the top. So she's not coming inside, and they were like, fine. The girl, I forgot what's her name, Jackie, whoever did the thing with Candy, mentioned like Drew had on her glasses. She wasn't coming inside no way. She was like,
she had some mama glasses on. I ain't never seen them glasses on that woman before. Right. She looked like she was sitting
outside. It was like, let me see if this assistant show up. Oh, there you go.
And that was the worst wig I've ever seen it in. And she had some bad wigs.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
So yeah,
That
she
was,
was planning on,
that
coming
was
to the
one of the
party.
ones she had on her first season.
Yes. And those were really bad. I'm
She
like, oh,
repurposed it.
maybe one of the ones she pulled out. No, that wasn't the one. Remember, she gave a wig. What was it? Some party. And that was her $1,000 gift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they still ain't seen the baby yet. So they still waiting on the sip and see. Sheree finally comes out and she makes a reveal. And then, they go upstairs. And so Candy is telling her, like, look, Drew's outside, but she's not coming in because the assistant is here, blah, blah, blah. And he overhears. And he was like, anybody worry about Drew's wide butt? He say, but. And I mean, it was funny what he said, but you could tell he was over the top. He was like, my only issue with her is her marriage is unsuccessful and her acting career is down the drain. I'm like, oh, Lord. And she owes him a coin and her husband an apology. So he had all this tea. Now, he would be interesting to bring on the show for some extra drama and just to see what's going on, like the extra tea. But he is over the top. But who do you believe, or what do you think happened with this whole altercation?
Okay, so the question for me is, why out of all of them would he have a problem with her? Mm-hmm. Right? If any, I mean, she's like, okay, I ain't gonna lie. Her storylines are always interesting. Her storylines are always interesting. I got to give it to her. Mm-hmm. However, she's not the most interesting one. Like, if you're gonna do something like that with, you would do. Okay, so he's cool with Sheree. All right, so maybe Candy. If not Candy, Kenya. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or maybe he's afraid of Kenya. Maybe he's afraid of Kenya.
He probably wants somebody that could get him on the show, but not ruin his reputation in Atlanta. It's like he ain't gonna go against, because it seemed like him and Sheree had issues last year because he said Sheree didn't pay him, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping these party planners get their check, but because I'm like, woo.
I'm assuming that she paid for it up front.
Oh, I'm sure. Or Bob did one of them. So anyway, they all kind of huddled for the picture or whatever. We still ain't see the baby yet, by the way. Kenya and Martell, she asked for a little sidebar with Martell, and Sheree gonna talk about be on your best behavior because this day is about Mecca. We ain't even seen Mecca yet. Oh my gosh. So anyway, Kenya, she was just like, look, I was trying to match your energy because you're a man and you coming at me and I didn't have a man with me. And Sheree tried to shade her, was like, you don't ever have no man with you. But they apologized and crushed the whole thing. So I'm like, okay. Now, hours later, Mecca is like, look, I'm tired. They decide to do the reveal.
Wait, I feel like you skipped a major part.
What?
Or did we get to that part?
Bob?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Mecca does her reveal, and I mean, it was cute, the little flowers and everything like that, and she comes through and all that kind of stuff. Not because my grandma, made me wait all night for this reveal. I'm tired. So anyway, sip and see, we saw. Now, they go to take the pictures for the family, and the whole family's there. Well, what was interesting, I didn't see her daughters, which is interesting, but that's another thing. So her, Martell, Bob, and this random lady, and then Cairo and the baby's mother, I was gonna say baby mama, baby's mother, and Mecca are all in this picture. And so everybody was like, and this is how people be doing, like, who is that? Is that his daughter? I know that ain't his girl. Like, she was
kind of young.
Right. So everybody like trying to figure out like who this is. And so and I did know that she introduced herself to Sheree, and Sheree, she was just like, okay, it wasn't like, oh, I know you or I don't know you, but she seemed cordial, but she didn't know who does. So of course, it's up to them to be like, Sheree, who was that? Mm-hmm. Who this woman? Papa, who this woman? And she was like, I don't know. I need to
who this woman is.
Okay. So he introduced her. She's like, this is my daughter. Like, she's supposed to know. This is my daughter, the right after Lanice. And she was like, what? So he apparently has 3 kids outside of Sheree instead of 2, like she thought.
That he's
I don't. I
currently
didn't.
claiming.
Oh, that's probably what it was. Like he started claiming her, but she was
No,
cute
no,
too.
no.
She was
I'm
nice.
just saying. I'm just what I'm saying is that he's claiming around Sheree because there might be others.
That's true, especially because Kenya mentioned that he was dating somebody that she was friends with, and she didn't even know he was married to Sheree. So poor thing. So yeah, so Bob has a daughter all of a sudden that apparently knows the kids, like she knows her
All of them.
siblings, but
All of them.
they ain't pass on the word to Sheree. So I'm trying to figure, do you think Sheree lying or she really didn't know?
No, I think she really didn't know, and I think the kids just didn't tell her. Now, I don't want to. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to blame the kids, but I would definitely have a conversation with the kids, right? Because you don't know when the kids found out. They they probably weren't adults, right?
Yeah.
And so 9 times out of 10, as kids, you don't want to hurt the mom because the mom
Mm,
clearly doesn't know. So you don't want to say anything. So that's why, like, as a parent, I probably wouldn't blame the kids, but I would definitely have a conversation. Like, when did you find out? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now I can start putting pieces of the puzzle together that, I probably had questions about, but just kind of let
Mhm.
it go.
Yeah. And I mean, he could have been as a father been like, don't tell your mama. And their kids, they probably are scared and don't tell her. But I'm wondering, like, now that you're adults, why it ain't come up. But maybe they ain't think about it. But she was revealed. So we sipped and saw another daughter. They had 2 reveals
The
and then
reveals.
yes. So yeah, but anyway, he thought it was appropriate to bring her. So that was very interesting. But that was pretty much the end of the episode. Of course, the girls, the Atlanta people were just like, "What? He got another daughter?" So just like we were shocked. But next week is the season finale, and they're gonna, I guess, have a movie trailer and special performance by Drew. Kenya's gonna talk more about her baby stuff because that's all her storyline has been this season, and it could be. I don't know if she's gonna talk about that.
I don't know why I thought this episode was the season finale.
No, next week, because they usually pop up them bubbles and be like, oh, to kind of end the season. They usually end it at some big party. I'm assuming it's going to be the movie trailer, and then
I thought that was the party.
yeah, that could have been a good episode because Marlo wasn't there because I was going to say that could have been an episode to end, but Marlo had a funeral, but.
Oh, okay, all right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't.
And then I'm assuming, I don't know, they kind of alluded to something happening with Sonya's baby, but she's pregnant now. So I don't know if she.
So, based on what I can assume, she lost the baby,
Oh, okay.
but she later, got
Got
pregnant
pregnant
again.
again. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Because I'm just like, that was emotional. And I know it's hard to, because I know like they always say wait a little while
Mhm.
before you tell
Right.
people or kids. And she was like fresh pregnant. And so I don't know. Hopefully Deuce is okay. And he, yeah. But anyway, okay, let's get to this. Oh, they also mentioned the whole thing with Drew. They were like 1 month after shooting, kind of like how they did Potomac, the same thing. So I'm assuming they're gonna give her the Drew side of the story because we ain't gonna get Ralph's. She gonna have tears and tell us all the stuff Ralph did, for this divorce. So we'll see.
Why do you think we won't get Ralph's? Because he has to appear. He signed the contract. He don't get paid, but he signed the contract.
I don't think we'll get that 1 month after shooting.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought the men
All
didn't
right.
get paid. I thought the husbands didn't get paid.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't get paid, but they still sign a contract.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I was thinking we wouldn't get his side and when they did that 1 month, I don't know if they brought him back 1 month later too. I don't know if he signed that contract, but we'll see.
Well, I think this is just me thinking, like I don't know how things go, but I'm assuming they wrapped. They found this stuff out. But they don't all, like, sometimes they wrap one season and they immediately start shooting again. Sometimes there's no lag time whatsoever.
Okay. That could be the case. Now, what I think is interesting is that the outfit that she had on, she's clearly had that outfit on in some other diaries throughout the season. And so, because you could tell, like, her, like, from one episode to the other, she'll change, like, oh, Ralph is the greatest to he a hot mess, or I love Candy to I don't like her no more. So it's like you could tell that they were definitely at different times when they recorded. But
Mm-hmm.
that green off the shoulder dress was post, so I'm gonna start looking for that. But anyway,
Okay.
so
Okay.
let's get to this Kenya and Candy.
All right. So my memory, I can't remember everything.
Okay,
But
which is how I like.
there were certain things that I did remember, and we kind of
Mhm.
we talked about Scott Lee, all right? So we don't
Mhm.
need to mention that again. Courtney, just a couple little tidbits to add on to what I said earlier.
Uh-huh.
So she something else I remembered. So you remember when they were in Portugal?
Yeah.
When they were sitting at the table, I think by this point Candy had already left. Kenya mentioned the fact that she got mad at every woman at the table,
Mhm.
and she cursed every last one of them out. She said, and she said, y'all are coming with these fake storylines. Y'all are coaching the newbies when you shouldn't be coaching them. You should let them be natural. You should let them be who they are.
Uh-huh.
We shouldn't be getting into all of that. Y'all are not being your authentic selves, and because you're not being your authentic selves, this entire season is going to go to hell in a handbasket. And
Mm.
she said, obviously, they did not show that.
Of course, they wouldn't show that. Mm.
Um, another thing that she mentioned, she's upset about the fact that she specifically asked for spinoffs. She never got spinoffs.
Mm.
The one of the spinoff that she asked for, and I guess the one that she cares the most about, was her pregnancy with her daughter, or for her
Oh.
daughter. She
Mhm.
wanted to do that, and the reason she wanted to do that was, number one, she didn't show her marriage. She wanted her marriage to last, right? And
Mhm.
the whole reason why she didn't have Mark on the show was the fact that she's seen how when people get
Yeah, it
married,
ruins
they
relationships.
right. She said the only exception is Todd and Kenya, but you see the types of issues that they deal with.
Right.
um in addition, okay, so yeah, she never got her spinoffs, so that was a big issue for her.
Now,
um
her in Brooklyn would be a good spinoff, but carry on.
yes. We've seen this entire season, right? Or something else that she mentioned, the
Mhm.
fact that her storyline this season. So you mentioned, or I don't know, maybe Erica mentioned the fact that it would have been nice if we had seen more of her store opening, but we only saw little bits and pieces. She said actually they taped her grand opening, but they never showed it. They're
That
not
is
going to show it.
that's crazy. Because I mean, that definitely, especially because Kenya more hair. Yeah. Mm.
So
I'll see if you bring it up, and I'll bring because I remember this. Go ahead.
oh no, you say what you gotta say.
No. Well, I think was it. Did she say like basically when she maybe the other girl said that, but when she failed, not a lot of people came to help her when she fell in Portugal.
I don't remember her. If she talked about it, I don't remember. Her
Okay,
mention.
maybe somebody else said that. Somebody else said it. Okay, carry on.
No. I was just saying that, like, Kenya's whole attitude about Housewives of Atlanta. I think that she wants to be on the show. She wants to
Okay.
be. I think for her, I think the show is the anchor. The show is what allows her to do bigger and better things.
Hmm.
Um,
And you
but
should use it like that. You should.
yeah, you should. You most definitely. But it's clear to her that production over all of the years, not just this year, not 5 years ago, but even going all the way back since the beginning, since she's been on the show. She said that there should have been times when she should have sat in the center. She should have sat in the center because she was giving Atlanta what it needed. She
Hmm.
feels that Nene should have been right here, and she should have been on the other side of Andy. But it's never happened. It has
Oh,
never ever happened for her.
oh, I never thought about that. I guess she hasn't.
And
Yeah,
Carlos said, "Not Candy," and she said, "The one
Candy
thing
has.
about Candy, Candy never wants to sit in the center.
That's
So
true. And Candy even said that.
if Candy doesn't want to sit in the center, why not me?"
Mm,
I was like, "Dang,
yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna watch that. Oh,
your
yeah.
girl, she was coming hot. she was coming hot. And by the time that she taped with Carlos, they had already done the reunion.
Oh,
So there were certain things that he asked her, and she was just like,
she
"I
couldn't
can't
say.
talk about that." So it's
Okay.
gonna be so some things are gonna come out at the reunion.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to see this reunion because even Candy was like, just wait till the reunion. All right. So I'm like, what's gonna come up with this reunion? So I'm excited. It might be better than the season.
Okay. I really think
If
that
they edit it right.
I really think that Sheree, Marlo, Sheree and Marlo mostly. I'm not too I cannot be sold on Sanya, whatever her name is. I can't be sold that Sanya was in on it, but I definitely think Marlo and Sheree got together and planned certain things. I really believe that.
Yeah,
I believe
so.
that.
Yeah, and Sanya, I don't know why she picked that side, but I do like that she at times will stand up for herself or say the crazy stuff that like she see, like, girl, this is over the top, or
Right.
or
Right.
like, no man should have paid this $1,500.
Yeah. Yeah.
This meal. So yeah.
Stand on what's right. Stand on what's right. Like you can have I can be cool with somebody. Like I might not say something in public and like in front of my friends, but I might, turn to the side and I'll be like, you wrong. You wrong. You wrong. I'm not with you on this. But in front of the group, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah. So well, not next week. What I'm assuming they will probably do, they'll have the finale. They probably do a break for Labor Day week and then bring us I'm assuming 3-part season finale.
It's a 3-part. I looked that up today.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I thought this episode was the finale. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
But I looked it up. It's a 3-part finale.
Okay, so we'll be back. I guess we got at least another month with the season finale and whatever. So yes, talk that stuff.
Give us about another hour. We'll be back to cover Big Brother.
Yes. For real.
And not Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all.